What's up, NFL fans? I'm Harrison Graham. Welcome into another episode of For Verts. Happy holidays. Hope you're getting to spend some time with family this week. We got some NFL news to discuss. Diontae Johnson has been claimed by a team. We'll dive into that. Tank Dell injury update, not good for the Texans wide receiver. Before we get to all that, help us out. You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. If you want to wish me a Merry Christmas, all you got to do is hit that sub button. It's 100% free. NFL, college football content for free every single day. Let's dive into it. All right, Antonio Pierce, who knows if he'll have a job in a couple of weeks. Obviously, Raider fans were not happy yesterday when they squeaked out a win over the Jacksonville Jaguars in a virtually meaningless game, but it was very meaningful in terms of the draft order for 2025. There's been a lot of Shedeur Sanders Vegas buzz. They had held the number one pick for several weeks, and they win yesterday, and now they sit with the number 6 pick in the NFL draft, and Raider fans went ballistic, and Antonio Pierce, for a lack of a better word, just ripped the fan base today. He does not care what they have to think, and this is what he had to say. Quote, "We don't do this to lose. The only thing that matters is winning, and that's what we want to do." I think this is a pretty tough spot for Antonio Pierce because these are professional athletes. You are dealing with grown men and players who hate to lose. I think it's easy for us and for fans to be like, don't lose. These games don't matter. And look, from a franchise standpoint, that is actually probably true. It is better if the Raiders would have lost out than to win that game against the Jacksonville team that is playing a backup quarterback and likely going to fire their coach anyway, than it is to win that game. I understand that. But Antonio Pierce can't look his players in the eye and say, we're playing to lose. You can't do that. And he knows that he may not have a job, so he's not going to go out there and try to lose. Like, he's actually right here. You play to win. These guys put in too much work, make too many sacrifices to not try to win. But that doesn't mean the fans are wrong either. Both can be right for different reasons. For the team itself, that was a good win yesterday. For the franchise as a whole, that was a catastrophic win for the Las Vegas Raiders. Because 3 weeks from now, today, that win means zilch. It does not matter. No one is going to remember. The only reason they're going to remember this game is because it might have cost them the opportunity to get Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. Now, again, it's a tough position for Antonio Pierce to be in. What's he supposed to do? Go up there and say, we obviously need a quarterback, and if we lose some of these games, it's not the end of the world. He can't do that. He can't tell his players that. He can't tell the media that. Like, I know hardcore fans will just tell us that it's better to tank. They're never going to do that. They can't do that. They shouldn't do that. But here's the bottom line. The Raiders need a quarterback badly. They cannot compete with Aiden O'Connell. They will not have a chance with Gardner Minshew. It's just not going to happen. And in this draft, in particular, with the amount of congestion at the top, teams with 2 and 3 wins, them winning a game might have cost them a chance at one of the 2 quarterbacks that are expected to go high, Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. So again, they fall from the number 1 pick to the number 6 pick, and based on the last 2 weeks, the highest they're probably going to get is 4. So they may have to trade capital now to get back into position to get one of those 2 quarterbacks. Now, again, that's not Aiden O'Connell's fault. That's not Brock Bowers' fault. That's not players playing on Sundays, putting their bodies on the line fault. But it is just a reality. And this is a reality. The AFC West has Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Sean Payton and Bo Nix in Denver. We'll see how Bo Nix develops, but pretty solid start. Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. The Raiders cannot compete without a quarterback, and quite frankly, cannot compete with this current head coach. So to have a chance to pick number 1 or number 2 overall, I don't know if Shedeur or Cam will be awesome. I think this is kind of a weaker QB class. But you may not even be in position to take one of those guys now. So if I'm a Raider fan, I do not blame you guys whatsoever for being upset. Because some Week 16 game in the middle of December in a meaningless season, winning that game, sure, it might feel fun in the moment, But in the grand scheme of things, it is brutal for the franchise. But obviously, you can't tell your players to lose. Obviously, you can't tank like that. But man, that's a tough one to swallow for Raider fans. It's a tough spot for Antonio Pierce because what the hell is the guy supposed to do? I don't really envy that position he was in whatsoever. All right, news that just dropped. Diontae Johnson has been claimed by the Houston Texans. He, of course, was traded from Carolina to Pittsburgh or to Baltimore for the NFL trade deadline. That did not work out. He got cut, and the Texans claimed him off of waivers following Tank Dell's injury. He's obviously out for the year. We'll talk about that in a second. It's been quite the 12 months for Diontae Johnson. He's gone from Pittsburgh, traded to Carolina, traded to Baltimore, cut, signed with Houston in like a 9-month period. I mean, if he can't make it work here, and this is a golden opportunity, by the way, the Texans, he probably won't play Wednesday because they play in 2 days on Christmas Day. But Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell are out for the year. So there's a scenario where Diontae Johnson, if he can get up to speed quickly, can play a notable role in that offense with C.J. Stroud, a team that's going to the playoffs. If he doesn't play well and if he doesn't get up to speed, this is a guy that was going to enter free agency this offseason and make some serious coin. If free agency started today, would he get more than the vet minimum? He's kind of got a reputation for not being a good teammate now, for not being someone his teammates and coaches can trust. So this kind of feels like a last chance opportunity here to rebuild his stock and rebuild his image a little bit. Now, again, he's going to have to learn the playbook. It's going to take a little time to get up to speed. I doubt he would play on Christmas Day, but they claimed him for a reason. They think he can help them down the stretch in Week 18 and in the playoffs. So we'll see what that looks like. There's probably a little bit of desperation here from Houston, kind of a no harm, no foul. If he comes in and doesn't work out, we'll just get rid of him. He's a free agent after this year. But if it hits, he can help replace a guy like Tank Dell, who just suffered a devastating injury. Dislocated kneecap, torn ACL, and other damage. Hopefully it's not too much ligament damage. That's what you're always concerned about with these knee injuries. But second year in a row, season ending, and I got to think his 2025 season's in doubt. I mean, even if it was just, let's just say it was only a torn ACL. At minimum, that's usually 8 months. That would put you like right at training camp right now if you had surgery before the end of the calendar year. But with the dislocated kneecap and other damage, if there's other scopes in there that need to be done to see if there's ligament damage, that could be more like a 12-month injury. And that would put most of 2025 in jeopardy. And then 2026, he's in the final year of his rookie contract. Like, it can go by like that. And when this guy's been healthy, he's been a hell of a player. But last year he suffered an injury. This year he suffered an injury. We don't know how he's going to respond from the injury. We don't know how long it's going to take for him to get back and how he'll play once he does get back from injury. I just feel for the guy because the guy seems like a high-character guy. He's obviously a hell of a player. Him and CJ have a strong rapport. And now his future is in doubt. I mean, I expect him to play again, but A, I don't know how good he'll be. We never do after these injuries. And B, more importantly, we don't know when he'll be back on the field. So wishing the best for Tank Dell. Like I said, seems like a good dude. Seems like we know he's a good player. But, man, he's had some bad luck early on in his career. But, again, we'll see if Diontae Johnson can help fill that void because if he doesn't, talk about a future that could be in jeopardy. I think you're looking at a guy who would sign for the vet minimum for some team next year just to even try to earn a role on a team because this thing has gone south for him in a hurry for Diontae Johnson. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of For Verts. Be on the lookout for more videos. We'll probably have a hot seat check-in tomorrow. It's been a couple weeks. We have 2 weeks left in the regular season. We'll take a look at some coaches' hot seat status. Do want to do a college football playoff quarterfinal round preview and prediction video at some point, so be on the lookout for that as well. We'll for sure be back tomorrow. We'll probably take Christmas Day off. You guys spend it with your loved ones, and then we'll be back on the saddle on Thursday as well. So my name is Harrison Graham. Hit that subscribe button. Like the video on the way out the door. See you guys soon.